Sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, December the 21st, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always, none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Happy holidays.
Hi, guys. Hi. Hello.
Hey, happy holidays indeed. It is holiday week, right? Christmas is this weekend. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day this weekend. Festivus is coming up, but more so than that, Hanukkah is upon us and everything else. Yeah, Festivus is the 23rd, as you know. But yeah, Hanukkah, everything else. Happy holidays to everyone, to one and all. It is a wonderful, marvelous, glorious time of year, and we are happy to be with you tonight, celebrating a little with you. So anyway, enough about that. How are you two gentlemen on this fine evening?
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Are you absolutely fabulous?
I am fairly fabulous.
Fairly fabulous. That was the working title of that show. But I'm going to crack open what you would think could be a beer, but it's not. It's a seltzer.
It's an antacid.
A seltzer.
Seltzer.
Not an alcoholic seltzer, just a seltzer. Just a lemon lime seltzer. Actually, it's not even lemon; it's just lime.
From ShopRite?
No, I actually got it at Costco. Actually, it's Polar Seltzer.
Kirkland Seltzer.
Kirkland Seltzer. No, it's actually a name brand. It's Polar.
Polar.
Yeah, they make it in the North Pole.
Excellent.
I figured it would be apropos.
Perfect for this time of year.
Plus, I'm wearing a red jersey. This is a green can. It goes along well.
Elfin Seltzer.
Apropos for tonight. So anyway. Yeah, so we got some fun stuff for you tonight.
Fun.
We usually
stuff.
do every other Wednesday, but we obviously are going to be, celebrating with you, all the holiday stuff this evening. So, in any event, should we jump right into it with just a quickie?
Sure.
Absolutely.
It's quick.
All right, let's get into it with just a quickie. There we go.
Just a quickie.
We got to do a sounder for that. We got to kick off 2023 with a sounder for some of these segments. So, by the way, I did remember. I did forget. I remembered after we finished last week's show, we didn't do the "Are They for Real" last week.
Yeah.
I thought we did.
No, we didn't.
We didn't do an "Are They for Real" last week. So
we have to do it this week.
We should do it this week.
Yeah, I think we should save it for next week.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do. So is it that good? You want to just save it for next week?
Yeah,
This one is particular for particular.
If we do it next week, it'll actually we'll have some clearer answers.
Fair enough
about what's real and what's not. There's a lot of iffies right now.
All right.
So we'll do it. We'll do it.
Are they real? We don't know because we don't know the answer.
There you go. All right. Well, just a quickie. We'll start off with this week's NFL Just a Quickie. Here we go. True or false?
True.
False.
All right. Done. Talk about a quickie.
Excellent.
All right.
What do you guys think?
Excellent. I think it's good. All right. Pete, start us out. True or false? The Giants game versus the Eagles on January 8th will mean something to the Giants. In other words, for playoff seeding and stuff like
that. True.
True. He says true.
I have faith in the Giants.
There you go. Harry?
Yeah, it'll mean something.
All right. There you go. And I agree with you. I think they will be at a position that if they can win it and the Eagles are taking a snooze because they're in or whatever, I think it's definitely going to mean something. Anyway, all right. Back to Pete. Same question for the Jets, though. True or false? The Jets versus the Dolphins in Miami on January 8th will mean something for the Jets.
False.
false. No faith.
They'll be done.
They'll be done. Harry, same.
It'll mean something.
It will. True. I think it will. I think it will mean something. So Harry and I are in agreement with it being true for the Jets and the Giants. Pete, however, no faith in his Jets.
The non-Jets fans have faith. Foolish mortals.
Silly are we? Anyway, all right. That was quick. See, it would have been fun. It would have been a little more fun if there is a sounder. We got to do a sounder. We have to make a sounder for that.
Yeah.
I think we do have to make a sounder.
All right. I have some ideas.
All right. Yeah.
The boy is coming home soon. So
you can get cracking on some of that stuff.
He's just stupid college senior year. He doesn't have he feels like that's more important than making sounders and themes
Come
for the show.
on, unbelievable.
And I'm like, this.
Can you set him straight?
Well, I tried to tell him, what do you think is paying for your education?
Right. Exactly.
But that's not this show. So he said,
did he know?
He did.
All
Because
right.
I mentioned it before.
All right.
He said, when you start paying some of my bills, I'll start writing you some themes.
Jingles. There you go. All right. That'll work. All right. On that note, let's get into the quiz. Let's do the quiz.
Michael Strahan is out.
Michael Strahan is out. All right, let me make sure he's out. Hold on one second. Strahan out. There we go. All right, cool. Here we go. Tonight's quiz is top New York Jets defensive players from 2000 to present. Top New York Jets defensive players from the year 2000 through present day. All right.
Okay.
Let me give you 6. 4 got to stay. 2 got to go. You know the drill. Write these down. Here we go. Darrelle Revis.
Out.
Darrelle Revis. David Harris. Sean Ellis.
It would make more sense if it was Ellis Island and not Revis Island.
Right? Damon Harrison.
Oh, these are some barn burner top names.
Oh, for the Jets they were. Antonio Cromartie. And John Abraham. So once again, Darrelle Revis, David Harris, Sean Ellis, Damon Harrison, Antonio Cromartie, and John Abraham. I was going to put Sauce on the list, but he's played 12 games, 13, 14 games, whatever, 13 games. So it wasn't fair. That's that up. So anyway, all right, Pete, give it to me. Do it first.
All right. Well, we have to keep Revis, of course.
Of course.
We have to keep Ellis.
Mm-hmm.
We have to keep Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna keep David Harris.
All right.
And
that's it.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's all I got to do.
There you go, and you're done. Darrelle Revis,
All
David
right,
Harris,
Cromartie,
Sean Ellis, and John Abraham. You're getting rid of Snacks and Cromartie.
Yeah.
All right. Harry.
Sure. I don't remember 2 of these guys. So, I mean, I'm going to go with Harris, too. That sounds like a good suggestion. I think it'll pair well with the Abraham, Cromartie, and Revis.
All right. So you're picking Revis?
Yeah. Revis, Harris, Cromartie, and Abraham.
All right. You're getting rid of Sean Ellis and Damon Harrison.
I don't know. Should I? I have no idea.
Well, Snacks Harrison, after he left the Jets, went to the Giants for a while, and then
I know who he is, but he's not one of the best players of all time. Yeah.
No, for the Jets. Yeah, no, I know. Cool. All right, so you got Revis, Harris, Cromartie, and Abraham. There you go. Cool. For me, just so you're aware, if I was picking Revis, Harris, and Abraham would be my top three, and I'm torn between Sean Ellis and Antonio Cromartie. If I had to pick, I'd probably lean towards Sean Ellis, but either or would be fine. Sorry, Snacks. Snacks does not.
I think Cromartie was good, but there was
Sean Ellis was pretty tough from the
Cromartie
edge.
was known, I think, as much for other things as he was for his defensive prowess.
Right.
So a lot of people go, Mark, and I'm not saying he was not a good player. He was, but
yeah. Fair enough. But no one way or the other, we were all in lockstep that Damon Harrison does not make the cut. So there you go. Sorry, Snacks.
Yeah.
All right.
And David Harris, good choice, Harry. He had like
17,000
725 solo tackles in 10 years. Sorry, 710 tackles for the Jets.
Yeah.
Like 100 and something sacks too, didn't he?
Let's see. Career 36.5 sacks.
I mean, Abraham and Harris, I know Revis is very highly regarded, but Abraham and Harris might be the two best Jets defensive players of all time.
Yeah.
They were good. All right. There you go. That is tonight's quiz. Good job. We need a theme for that too. We got to put something up. So.
Tonight's quiz.
All right. All righty. Okay.
Tonight. Quiz.
Oh.
The quiz.
We're going to get it wrong. There's no right quiz.
All right. So let's take a minute here. You guys finish your Christmas shopping yet?
Just about.
Haven't started it.
Just about.
I bought my dad a present, and it's already there, so that's good.
There you go. That's good. That's always good.
Yeah, as I said last week, I'm buying things that are cute and not particularly meaningful, but a little more frivolous this year.
Gotcha. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
Christmas Eve, Walgreens.
A lot of good stuff for $1 there.
It's true. Really? I have a couple things I always like to save, just like I got the main things, right? I'm good with most everything, but I always like to save a couple of things to go out on like the 23rd and get, right? Just not because I want to wait till the last minute. Only a few things, right? Only because I want to go out and see everybody else getting pissed off because they got to do all their shopping or a lot of their shopping, and I know I only need like 2 or 3 things, and I'll have a coffee, I'll walk around, I'll do whatever. It's just something I like to do on the 23rd. But in any event, that's me.
Yeah, I used to actually go out like early on the 24th and do the vast majority of my shopping.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you this. One year has gone back, 25 years ago, maybe, or more. One year I was just so busy with work, like literally working 14-hour days, 7 days a week, like literally through the entire month of December. I literally did every single bit of my Christmas shopping on the 24th.
Everyone got it.
And everyone got beer.
Pimento loaf.
Beer, bologna, a couple sticks of pepperoni, and a gift card to Exxon. That was a ton.
Nice.
No, I'm kidding. But well, luckily there was somebody else doing some shopping, not with me, but like during the time. So, and the things that I had to get, I got that day. That's all I meant. Anyway,
that's a good way to do it.
So cool. All right. I think it's time that we move on to the rapid fire quiz. What do you think?
Ooh,
you think
rapid fire?
Well, I think this will be the week that Pete comes out victorious, or at least gets a little closer.
Maybe gets 3.
All right.
I'm poised. I'm on the verge of 3.
Yeah, you are. Because 4 weeks ago you got 1. 2 weeks ago you got 2. So you're poised to get 3. So let's see. There we go.
Get 4 by that numerical progression.
1, 2, 4. Yeah, you're right.
You're in trouble, Harry.
1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody close the door. 6, 7. All right. Wrap it up.
You skipped 5. Okay, here we go. Let's kick it off right here. Again, just a reminder, 2 weeks ago, Harry beat Pete 6-2. So there we go. All right. So here we go. Let's kick it off here. Pete, you are first. You ready?
No.
No, you're not. But you're going to go anyway. Here we go. All right.
Never stopped me before.
Pete, your first question is the following. The Galloping Ghost, Red Grange, played for what team?
I'll say Chicago.
Chicago
Bears.
All right.
Blackhawks.
Had to make sure. You are correct, sir. He played for the Chicago Bears. Red Grange.
Right.
Galloping Ghost played for the Chicago Bears. All right. Harry, your first question. Here we go. Ready?
Yes.
In the 1950s,
Oh, God.
2 different balls were used.
2 different balls. In what game?
What are we talking about?
Football.
My
It's the
grandfather's
NFL
only
rapid
fans.
fire quiz, right? On his grandfather's OnlyFans. It'd be interesting if he had 3 different balls were used. Anyway,
Well,
there we go. Okay, in the 1950s, in the NFL, 2 different balls were used. One of them was the brown one with 2 white stripes.
Okay.
What was the other one colored? How was the other one colored?
Was it? Is it like black and white? Well, it's like a white ball with either black or blue. Go black. White. It was white. The ball was white.
The ball was white. Ruling on that, folks?
Black
Yes,
stripes.
It was dark stripes.
Dark
stripes.
stripes.
So it was like they were actually brown, but dark is acceptable.
Okay.
So white with brown. Yes, you are correct. White with
Why don't
brown.
they bring that back?
They did that because at the time there was
They didn't have lights at
there
night.
were no lights at night, so they needed something they could see while they were playing football. So there you go. Once they solved their illumination issues, they just used the brown ball, and that was it. So there you go. All right, back.
It's harder to find white pigs too.
This is true. It's difficult. It is. It is.
Albino
Almost
pigs.
Once in a
wiped
blue
out
moon,
the-
you find them, but yeah,
the albino pig population.
much
here
more
in the
prevalent
United
back in the
States.
50s.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, Pete, back to you. Ready?
Ready.
Your second question. What former NFL place kicker invented the Nerf football?
I know this.
What former NFL place kicker invented the Nerf football?
I'll say
Red Grange.
Chicago Bears. I'll say place kicker, huh? George Blanda.
Good guess. That would be wrong. All right, Harry.
Can't think of his. I want to say Fred Blitten. It's not Fred Blitnikoff. Wasn't a kicker. That's what. I think his first name is Fred. I can't think of his last name. Fred. Cook. I don't know.
Fred Cook. Damn close. If I could
Fred
give you
damn
half
close?
a point, Fred damn close. If I give you half a point, I would. So you get an A for effort. It would be that was Fred Cox, actually. Fred Cox. Place kicker for the Minnesota Vikings. Good, decent place kicker for the Minnesota Vikings. But sadly, nobody gets that one. All right. Harry, your second question. Here we go. Which TV network carried NFC games until the mid-90s? Which TV network carried all the NFC games until the mid-90s?
All of the NFC, huh? Till the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Well, trying to think of CBS was the AFC, wasn't it? It wasn't ABC, that was Monday night. NBC.
Going NBC?
Yeah.
NBC is wrong. Sorry about that. Pete for the steal.
What was the question? Which network carried?
Which TV network carried all the NFC games until the mid-90s?
And Harry said what?
He said NBC. He said WNBC.
Well, there's only one other answer.
Well, there's three other answers.
But one of them wasn't around, and the other one only did Monday Night Football.
They were all around.
They were all around in the mid-90s.
I got him.
But I don't think I really don't know when they started.
If you listen to my wrong answer, I gave the right answer by mixing up my explanation.
Well, don't give them anything. What are you going to say, Pete?
I wasn't listening.
Cool.
That's why I had to ask what your answer
Roll
was.
the tape back. Really?
I'll say CBS.
Yeah.
CBS would be correct. CBS would be correct.
Because I don't think Fox had the
Fox is who took it over. Oh.
Fox
in the mid '90s. I don't.
When they first started televising NFL games, CBS carried all of the NFC games. NBC carried all of the AFC games.
See, I got them backwards.
And ABC did Monday Night Football. And then Fox became prevalent in the 80s, and they wanted in, so they competed for the contract, and they got the NFC contract. And then NBC lost the contract with the AFC, and AFC went to CBS. So that's how that
okay.
And there you go. All right. I want to stop right now and just point out the fact that if we ended the game
What are you jinxing it for? Why are you jinxing it?
If we ended the game right here, there would be no more questions. That's all I was going to say. So there you go. Not jinxing anything. So anyway. All right. Pete, your third question. Here we go. The Chicago Bears were originally known as what? The Chicago Bears were originally known as what? That would be incorrect. They were not known as the Us.
The Chicago Bears were originally known
as.
I have no idea. I'll say the Lakers.
Fair enough. Good guess. That would be wrong. Harry?
It was something weird, like the Stadlers or statesmen, or I don't know. Stadlers, I guess. I don't know. Something like that. I can't think of the name.
All right, fair enough. You're close. That would be. They were known as the Staleys, actually.
Staley. What is a Staley?
Staleys.
Is that a stale piece of bread?
Staleys. Staleys.
I never would have remembered that. That's because it's not a word.
And they weren't from Chicago either. They were the Decatur Staleys.
Yeah, from Decatur, Georgia.
Decatur, Illinois. Decatur Staleys. They were the Decatur Staleys. All right. Staleys. All right. Harry, stays with you. This is your third question. Here we go. The Washington Redskins, or Commanders, were originally known as what?
I don't remember.
Well, that's not good.
I'm trying to think. It's a baseball team name. I don't know. Were they the Braves or the Indians?
Which one you going with?
I don't think they would have went for. I think it was Braves. Braves
from.
I need. You need the city that they came from.
Yeah, it's the whole name.
Boston.
There you go. You know, if you didn't say anything right then, I was just going to say, well, you got it right. They were the Braves. They were actually the Boston Braves. Very good. They actually, when they started playing football, they took the name of the baseball team that was in Boston, which was the Boston Braves. The other, the Red Sox.
I knew it had a baseball.
So the Washington Redskins originally were named like the New York Giants were with the New York baseball Giants.
Did people get confused when they played in Washington and they were called the Boston Braves?
Exactly, right. So now they started in Washington and they took the name of the Braves baseball team, and the Braves moved and they changed the name of the Redskins. Actually, I think they were the Boston Redskins before they moved to Washington, but they were the Boston Braves initially. So very good. All right. Back to Pete. Here we go. Pete, your fourth question. Here we go. What is the only NFL team to win the NFL championship in its inaugural season? The only NFL team to win the NFL championship in its inaugural season.
I'll say Kansas City.
Kansas City would be incorrect. Harry for the steal.
Packers.
Packers would be incorrect as well. There you go. So nobody gets that one. That would be the Cleveland Browns.
No.
Cleveland Browns. All right. Harry. No.
Mm-hmm.
Stop right there. Your question. Question number 4. Here we go. In what year did the Cleveland Browns play their first NFL game?
First NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
53.
53 would be incorrect. Radio Pete for the steal.
52.
Ooh, closer, but not correct. There you go.
51.
19. Even closer, Pete.
50.
There you go.
1950.
Nobody got that. 1950.
I was going to say 51, but I still would have been wrong.
1950. They won the championship game in 1950. In fact, in the first 6 years, they were a team. They won 3 NFL championship games. So they were 3 out of 6 in the first 6 years they were around. So, and we're talking about the Browns here. All right. Yeah, and they won more after that. League, right? Yeah, right. So there you go. 1950. All right. There we go. All right, back to Pete. Question number 5. Little holidayness mixed in here. All right.
What is Darrell Revis's favorite holiday movie?
What is your favorite thing about trees? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, no NFL. It's just some fun holiday stuff. Here we go. So Pete,
okay.
Here we go. What did the burglars that broke into the house in Home Alone call themselves?
That was the Wet Bandits.
The Wet Bandits is correct. That is correct. Very good, sir. All right. To Harry.
1950.
Here we go.
Fred Cox.
Fred Cox, exactly.
Of the Chicago Bears.
Of the Chicago Bears.
Minnesota Vikings.
Harry's 5th question. Here we go. What was the name of the head elf in the Santa Claus?
Is that a cartoon?
No.
What year was that movie? I'm trying to think of the movie.
93?
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking of the right one.
Tim Allen was in it. Tim Allen was the lead.
Yeah. I know the elf. I know the
secret in that
name.
What was the name of the head elf in the Santa Claus?
That is just Elf Slater.
Elf Slater?
Elf Slater. Head elf. What was you're talking the name of the elf, not who played them, right?
Not who played him. The name of the elf. Yeah. What was the name of the elf?
Bernard.
Very good. Very good. Bernard. I was wondering if you weren't going to get that.
I remembered it now. I'm trying to place the movie. And that's the only reason why I remembered it. Yeah.
There you go. Somebody thought his name was Harry, but the head elf, I mean.
It was.
There you go. All right. Play by?
The head elf. I don't know.
David Krumholtz.
David Krumholtz. David Krumholtz lives in New Jersey. Loves craft beer. Nice guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Is he a little person?
No. No, not at all.
I know. I remember.
All right. Here we go. Pete, back to you. Your sixth and final question. Here we go. Finish this line from A Christmas Story.
Oh, God.
Ah, fragile. Ah, fragile. Once again, finish this line from A Christmas Story. Ah, fragile.
I don't know that one. I'll say it's Italian. I don't know that one.
It must be Italian.
It must be Italian. All right.
You shoot your eye out, man.
Mm-hmm. And Harry, your last question.
Oh, God.
What did Clark get instead of a bonus in Christmas Vacation?
Jelly of the Month Club.
Yep, 1-year subscription to Jelly of the Month Club. Very good. All right. Well, there you go. So it was tied going into those last two questions. But kudos to Pete. I mean, you were close on that one. You were close on that one. So close on that one. So
I think you can give him the Italian one.
I think we can give him the Italian one. You want to give him the Italian one? Ruling?
No, I wasn't. I mean, I honestly did not know what it was. I just figured,
fragile.
the way it was pronounced, it had something to do with Italian. I do not remember that line.
It said fragile on the box. He said,
I figured.
Yeah.
Right, when you said fragile, that was either French or Italian. I figured Italian, but I did not remember the line even when you said it. So I cannot accept your charity.
All right. Well, if you don't accept the charity and we send it to Harry, it's 5-3. So you actually did move up to 3. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. So improvements. There we go. All right. Ready? Cool. That was fun. I like that. Little throw it a little wrench into the works there for with the Christmas movie questions there.
The rapid fire quiz, neither rapid nor any signs of fire.
None whatsoever. All right.
Fragile.
Fragile. Must be Italian. Actually went to that house in Cleveland.
You've mentioned this.
That they filmed it in. That was actually fun.
Now, what came first? The Cleveland Browns inaugural season or the construction of that house in the Christmas Story?
The construction of that house.
You think it's older than 1950? Huh?
Definitely older than 1950. I was in the house. It was if it's not older than 1950, it was the worst built house.
It wasn't definitely not a mid-century modern.
It was built from the carcasses of several houses that were built in 1948.
So you think about it. The movie came out in 83. All right. So that means
I thought it was before that, but yeah, you're right. It wasn't 80s.
It was supposed to be in the
50s, right?
30s.
30s. Okay.
30s. So, but had the house been the exact same age as the first season of the Browns, it would only be 33 years old. So, think about the way that house looked in the movie. Obviously, it was.
Yeah, it was probably built in the 20s or 10s.
Probably, yeah, teens or 20s. Yeah.
I was just making.
I know. I was
trying to connect disparate plot twists in our rapid fire quiz.
I know. That's interesting, though. I like that, though. But it was actually cool. The house is literally looks exactly the way it did in the movie. So sad, but anyway, so there you go. All right, cool. That brings us to our top 10 sitcom, our top 10 list. Well, it's been doing top 10 sitcoms. So this week we're doing top 10 sitcoms. If you know, 2 weeks ago we did 80s. 2 weeks before that we did 70s. This week is 90s. Top 10 sitcoms from the 1990s. Top 10 sitcoms from the 1990s. And in true Get On With It sports podcast fashion, we have 135. No, actually we have 17, but I'm going to read off the ones above 10 really quick. We won't even discuss any of them. So tied for 13, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Wings. Tied for
Wings.
Okay. Tied for 12, Daria and Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean.
2 great shows.
Yeah.
Imagine if Daria and Mr. Bean got together. That'd be
Daria Atkinson. That'd be interesting. Anyway, well, and then 11 is King of the Hill.
King of the Hill, which was like later 90s, right? I always think of that.
It was
2000s,
later 90s, but it didn't go so far into the 2000s. So we left it. I left it in for. There were a couple that I was thinking about too.
I wanted to keep them for the 2000s.
That I want to keep for the 2000s. Yes. All right. So we're going to kick it off now. Number 10 is not a tie. Imagine that. So number 10 is by itself. It's Murphy Brown. Murphy Brown. Good show. I always watch this show. Harry.
Never really watched it.
I liked it, but I didn't watch it very much. A lot of these I didn't watch when they originally came out because in the early 90s, I don't think I had a television, and I don't think I was ever in a house during television hours. So
fair enough.
But yeah.
Okay. Murphy Brown, Candice Bergen, right?
Yeah, very good.
Good show.
Very good.
Yeah, right. All right, tied for number 9. We'll do the first one first. Is Absolutely Fabulous.
Again, watched it in syndication when it came out. Maybe if I had to pick one of these, if somebody said, "Hey, you could only watch one of these again," this would be in my top 2, without a doubt.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
good show.
So hilarious and so British. And so debaucherous and kind of groundbreaking because they weren't necessarily, there's 2 women, great writers, comedians, it was their show really. And they weren't necessarily, 20-year-olds. So it was, the sort of parental figure on the show was her daughter. So
right.
I don't know. It's so beyond. There's nothing else that really compares to it, and I think it was incredibly groundbreaking.
Agreed. All right. Also tied for number 9 is Sports Night.
Yeah, the Murphy Brown of sports shows.
Murphy Brown of sports shows. Yes, and featuring another show that was featuring an actor that was in a show from 2 weeks ago.
Ted Knight?
No. The lead character of Benson.
Oh,
Robert Guillaume was in Sports Night. Yeah. Ted Danson. There you go. Good show though. Sports Night. I like Sports Night.
Obviously, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
That was an Aaron Sorkin joint.
It was Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, that's worth going back and watching. It's great. It's a great cast.
Was it
good writing? It was a good show.
Was it who else was in it as kind of a breakout person in that?
Felicity Huffman was in it.
Craig Kinnear in there or something like that.
Felicity Huffman was in it. Yeah,
Felicity Huffman. There you go.
Yeah. All the actors I can never remember the names.
Robert
the guy was in 6 Feet Under.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's no.
I don't know the actors' names. Knox Overstreet from.
It was like late 90s. Oh, Peter Krause. That's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Peter Krause. That guy with the big nose. Who's in Dead Poets Society.
It wasn't really an all-star cast.
No. The most known person that I cast at the time was Robert Guillaume.
Right.
So. Good show. Good. If you can see an episode or 2 of it, it's good. It's a good watch.
Josh Charles was the main character.
There you go.
Yes.
So there you go. Sports Night. There we go. All right. Moving on to number 8 is Friends. Friends. Groundbreaking show for as far as pop culture in the 90s. Pat did not like it. Harry did not like it.
Did you guys both have this on your list? I think I had it on my list too.
Great. The pop culture that came out of the show was ridiculous. I mean, how many people walked around with Rachel's haircut in the 90s? Came the defining haircut for women of the 90s.
A lot of people had Pete Rose's haircut in the 70s. Not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, but he did not have a show where he got paid $1 million an episode.
People had, Farrah Fawcett's hair was more ubiquitous. So
there you go. But
Friends was probably, I think, one of the best examples of the death of a sitcom, where they start to do dramatic things, and there was a whole contract dispute because the show was making a ton of money and the actors were not, and they wanted more money and they wanted to direct shows and
But they
do
did
drama.
They did one thing. There's not a lot of drama. I mean, there was a couple
in the
episodes
later
with,
years,
like-
there were storylines that just didn't need to be.
Was it ever funny?
It
Yeah.
was funny.
It's funny.
It was funny.
It's
It
funny.
was must see.
I just
Thursday night
I just
TV.
hate it. I just hate it. I'm sorry.
Well, it's number 8 on the list. There we go. All right, moving on to number 7 would be Married with Children. Married with Children.
Didn't.
Love and marriage
Would
love
never
and
get on the air today.
Hmm.
Well, no. If it was a cartoon, maybe. But
Yeah, they seem to have a little more leeway when they're drawing
Well,
the
that's just
actual.
it was kind of a cartoon, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty much.
without a doubt.
I mean, those characters were all so over the top,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah. And what made it work was that the cast was really talented.
Yeah.
I mean, look at yeah, I mean, it was a pretty talented group of actors across the board.
I like when shows and there was plenty of amazing episodes. Like when when Al installed the Ferguson, the toilet.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it was
that's
also
Garage.
it was also rooted in every other classic sitcom. I mean, from the Honeymooners right down to All in the Family it had the same couch location, the same
Oh yeah.
staircase behind it. He had a job blue collar job that he couldn't stand.
Mhm.
The nagging wife and
Right. He was a sad sack whose best days were high school, right?
Exactly.
That was when he peaked, and it was all downhill after that.
But the flip was that the dialogue, the sarcasm of the dialogue was beyond anything previous.
Oh hell yeah! The sarcasm was amazing. Two things though. One, I was talking about the episodes or whatever, but I'm a big fan of Easter eggs in TV shows. Like,
Okay,
that's
that's pretty niche.
That's specifically Easter eggs. Idiot. Like a throwback to like another TV show or another something that character did in a movie.
You're not talking literally Easter.
No, I didn't say not literally Easter eggs. Like they're called Easter eggs. Like things like
gotcha.
like if you're in the know, you know, and you laugh.
Yeah,
if you're
yeah,
not,
I
it goes
got
by.
you. I got you.
Right. And when Ted McGinley, who was Jefferson,
Marcy's husband.
Marcy's second husband, right?
Yeah.
And one episode, I forget what the whole premise of it was. I really forget what exactly they were doing, but he was trying to get Al's attention, and he said, Captain Fonzie, because he was in Love Boat and he was in Happy Days, Ted McGinley. So, like, it was funny. You had to be there. You had to watch that episode. So, but anyway, but the other thing that's funny is really quick, just as things go, there's a meme out there right now that shows the house. All right, nice split level house, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a split level, right? It could be colonial. I'm pretty sure it was a split level that they were showing. But in any event, nice big house in the suburbs of Chicago, and it said on it. What amazed me the most about Married with Children is that his wife didn't work and he was a shoe salesman and he afforded this house.
Well, the house was pretty blue collar when you saw it from the inside. It was just
true, very true. Could be an old family house. Who knows? I just thought it was.
I think that was a riff on every other sitcom where the exterior shot of the house never matched what was on the inside.
What was actually inside the house, right? Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. So 7, Married with Children. Moving to number 6, Roseanne. Speaking of blue collar, did I? I'm sorry. Who's there?
Yeah, this show, groundbreaking. I think it's some of the best writing and some of the most realistic writing and acting within the context of a sitcom. And I don't know, it was definitely one of the more distinct sitcoms I think of all time.
Mm-hmm. I have to agree with you. It was definitely it went in a different direction than a lot of them did. That's for sure. But definitely distinct is a good word for it.
Yeah, that was like when people were angry in Roseanne, they were really the characters were really angry, as opposed to sitcom anger, like
Right.
the usual sitcom anger, where they go, "Oh, you're insufferable,"
Mm-hmm.
like
And
they
things
were
weren't always
really
resolved. Things weren't always
right,
resolved.
exactly, right. They were really pissed about something that somebody really fucked up bad, and they, most of the time managed to work through it. But you're right, sometimes they didn't, and it was about a more, I mean, no
It was a, it
family
was
is
a
really.
struggling blue collar family that I
Yeah,
think
it was a struggling blue collar
started
family, and they were all
started
funny,
yeah.
but they
And
had real problems.
and they all had to work shitty jobs, and I think it started to hit on just struggle and power dynamics within married couples and a lot of different things. It was and look, Roseanne was certainly the creator of the show. Her stand up prior to that show was some of the best that I've ever seen, and she was a star. And there's very few shows that had two fat people who weren't very attractive and a couple kids who looked like every other kid that didn't look like spit shined Hollywood actors with perfect teeth. So it was real, and that was refreshing.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely.
And I think flannel shirts became popular because of Roseanne.
Yeah, probably. All right. So there you go. Number 6, Roseanne. All right. Number 5, we have another tie.
Oh,
First one is Everybody Loves Raymond. Everybody loves
Raymond.
Raymond. He's got a deep voice, but yeah. Oh, this. I mean, how can you beat this? The
You want to talk about
like Peter Boyle and
a great cast, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was kind of like Roseanne and Seinfeld had a child.
Yeah. To a point, I guess.
The parents were kind of like the Costanzas. I mean, it was. It seemed familiar. That's all I could say. Like you sort of, it didn't seem original, but it was good.
Right.
Well, it was very relatable, right?
Yes.
Every husband was, put upon. Every kind of sad sack guy was put upon and nagged by his wife.
And then the King of Queens,
exasperated wife.
The King of Queens was a direct
idiot,
rip-off of this. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone whose parents were overbearing, and especially the mother, and a father who was, out of it half the time. It was familiar.
Right.
People could relate.
And Tony, who knew Tony the mechanic from Seinfeld was Raymond's brother.
Well, I mean, hey. All right, so there you go. That was good. It was a good show, though. Everybody Loves Raymond, tied for number 5. Also tied for number 5 is News Radio. News Radio.
Good show. Very underrated. I did not see it when it was on, but I've watched it since. And
I watched it when it was on. I get into it when it was on.
Talk about
it. This was must watch.
Top notch character actors all put together in one show. Yeah.
I mean, what's his face from Kids in the Hall?
Dave Foley.
Dave Foley.
Phil Hartman.
Phil Hartman. Yeah.
And then what's his name was the who wound up being in what was the speaking of Jennifer Aniston, what was the cult movie she was in about corporate? She worked at like the Friendlies, not Office Space, Office. Anyway, the guy Stephen Root was was Milton from the Office Space.
Yeah. Office Space.
Office Space. Yeah.
He's a great actor. He was great in this too. Yeah.
And
Maura Tierney, right? Andy Dick.
Maura Tierney was in this. Andy Dick, yeah.
And everyone's favorite expert on everything, Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite expert on everything. Yeah, no, it was a great cast. It was a good show. The writing was great. Like you said, the character actors put together in an ensemble cast. It was a good show. If it's out there, you can see it.
Phil Hartman actually died during this, right?
During the show,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, untimely and at the hands of somebody else.
Yeah, good show.
And of course, it had the element of radio.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Something
Although
that I love.
Unlike any radio station I've ever seen, with the broadcast booth in the middle of the place,
in the middle, right? Yeah.
Glass tube.
Yeah,
but still,
Jimmy James, right? Wasn't that Stephen Root's character, the owner of the station, Jimmy James?
Jimmy James.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I never saw a studio like that either.
No.
It looked good on television, though.
It did. It was definitely a good design. So made for conversation. All right. Also tied 4-5 News Radio. All right. That gets us to the top 4. No more ties. Here we go. Number 4 is the Larry Sanders Show.
Ah, man, I missed that motherfucker.
Yeah, that was a good show. And we had 2 weeks ago, we had the Gary Shandling Show. On the
this show is so good. I mean, I rewatched it during COVID lockdown days, and it's spectacular.
Yeah, this was definitely one of those shows that can be rewatched. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. It's tongue in cheek. There's the humor within the humor, right? The show within the show.
And the commentary on the talk show world was just
right. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's the content of the show, but it's also the content of the behind the scenes and
definitely. All right.
Yeah.
There you go. Number 4, the Larry Sanders Show. All right. Bring us to number 3, The Simpsons. The Simpsons. And what's weird about this is it started in the 80s, right? 89 it started. And this is on the list for the 90s, but it's still on today. It's
pretty spectacular.
The show is going into its 34th or 35th season.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
Pretty groundbreaking. I mean, there are Simpson fanatics. I'm certainly not one of them, but there are. There's still it still has new shows, right, on Fox. Mm-hmm. It's on network television. That's what makes it crazy.
Fairly close to a Simpsons fanatic, but I remember I was living out in Washington State.
Wow, where'd you live there? Where'd you live in Washington State?
In Bremerton, Washington, which is right across the Sound from Seattle. My good friend of mine was in the Navy, and so they have the facility out there, and there's a sub base up in Bangor.
Bangor? I don't even know.
Bangor, Washington. So anyway, the Simpsons were little bumpers for the Tracy Ullman Show.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's how they started. Yeah.
Yep, it was like the little 30-second vignette, and then you'd go to commercial, and then they'd come out of it, and then they would resolve whatever the crisis was. And that was when I was first exposed to The Simpsons, and they were brilliant and funny, and became a TV show.
Yeah, pretty spectacular.
It was good.
Yeah. And 90s was really when they were. I know there's a lot of people who go, they're just not funny anymore. Maybe, but the 90s was.
90s was really, it. 90s was.
It was the heyday.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Like there's a. Well, we'll leave it at that. Talk about it in 2 weeks. Anyway, yeah, but Simpsons agreed. I'm liking where it's at. It was definitely groundbreaking.
Yeah, I mean,
hysterical back then. Yeah.
Keeping any show fresh.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of episodes. You think about it. There's a lot of episodes.
I think they've done a pretty good job. The only show that's coming close to being as good and maybe even better after 25 years is South Park.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
whatchamacallit, there's a lot of episodes where the comedy doesn't stop. It's at the line, following the line, following the line, following the line. Everything's funny.
Yeah,
it's just a laugh. There's shows where you don't stop laughing, and you'll miss stuff because it's just one joke after, and it's hysterical. So, well written, very good. So, number 3, The Simpsons. The Simpsons. All right. Number 2 on our list tonight is Frasier. Frasier Crane. Frasier. Spin-off of our number 1 show on last week's or 2 weeks ago's list, and that was Cheers, obviously.
Maybe the greatest spin-off ever.
I would say the greatest spin-off ever. I would say of
Jefferson's.
Jefferson's.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean Jefferson's up there.
Jefferson's is better than Frasier.
You think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to think about that.
That's my take on it.
I mean, they're certainly both in the top 3. Let's put it that way. And I'm being nice to whatever else we're going to put up there, but it's definitely up there at least. But the writing was very, very great. It lasted 11 seasons. Probably could have gone another couple. It wasn't getting stale.
And another show based around radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, didn't they win like 50 Emmys or something?
So many.
Certainly, I think it's the most decorated spin-off.
Absolutely. That you could call it that if you want. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was also very funny.
It was hysterical. It was there were some episodes where to this day I've seen them 100 times. I'll still laugh my ass off watching them.
And it wasn't
so well written.
It was a smarter funny. It wasn't really
a little highbrow,
comedy. But it wasn't slapstick.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't it was a different. It had a different tone to it than most other sitcoms.
Yeah. And then I always say this. I just mentioned Easter eggs before. I might have talked about this 2 weeks ago. Stop me if we did. But there was an episode in the last season where one character that's just in that episode asks Frasier, says, "Do you know if you have any idea what it's like to play the same character for 20 years?" Then obviously, and then of course the audience just laughs their ass off, and Frasier's like, but it's funny. Anyway, but well-written show. Again, like I said, it wasn't getting stale where they had to end it. It was just, they felt it was time. They could have gone on a few seasons. It would have been fine. But anyway, there you go. Number 2, Frasier, bringing us to the number 1 sitcom on this list of the 1990s. Of course, that would be none other than Seinfeld. There you go.
It's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
Show about nothing. What'd you do this morning? I got up and had coffee. That's a show. You know what? This is one of those shows where if I'm flipping around the channels, there's nothing on, and there's an episode of Seinfeld on, it just stays. You just leave it.
Yeah, and you know it's coming, and you know what the lines are.
You know what it is.
They're
It
still
doesn't matter.
funny.
Still funny. Yeah, exactly.
It has the best single, I think, monologue in the history of all sitcoms, and that is in the episode called "The Library," where what is his name? Philip Baker Hall plays Mr. Bookman, the library cop, and goes off on Jerry, and you could see it on Seinfeld's face. He's just like, I just need to try not to laugh and not get in the way of this, because it is, whenever it comes on, I rewind it and watch it 3 or 4 times, because I really do think it is the single best moment in the history of all sitcoms, is his monologue, essentially a monologue. Jerry has 1 or 2 very small lines in there during that show. It is, if you've never seen it, go watch it, because it is comedy gold, done by an incredibly talented, classically trained character actor who, who does me. Yeah, I can't explain it in words. You just have to see it, because if you see it, you realize that this is just, it's gold. It's gold, Jerry. It's gold.
It's gold. That scene is hysterical. That is definitely one of my favorite scenes from any episode. That and something we'll probably talk about in a couple of minutes. But yeah, it's that's hysterical, that scene. Just thinking about it now, it's hysterical. I got to watch it. I got to go watch it now. I got to go when we're done. I got to go watch it.
Maybe that turns you on, Joy Boy. You and your good time pals.
Oh, I gotta love it. If you've never watched Seinfeld, don't start with that episode, because but if you've seen Seinfeld, you never watched that one, yeah, go watch it. It's hysterical. There you go. But yeah, there you go. And then, I mean, just the characters. I mean, Jerry, obviously, Elaine, George, Kramer, and then their parents. I mean, George is,
great writing, and there was a deep pool of really good writers and directors on that show, and it wasn't just Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David. It's Larry Charles, who I think wrote many of those episodes. Mm-hmm. Some of the most, they brought the best people they knew, from stand-up comedy and writers, and they knocked it out of the park.
Oh
yeah, Larry David.
I mean, we'll probably talk about Larry David in the next version of this, because we'll be doing the 2000s, and personally, I think Larry David was the most important part of Seinfeld. And if you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, to me, I think Curb Your Enthusiasm is Seinfeld on steroids to some degree.
Right.
But
you know what? Seinfeld had, it could get away with the cartoonish, ridiculous situation, right? It truly was the situation because of the characters it created. Right? Like it couldn't be it. Like, you never watched Seinfeld and went, "Oh, that could never happen," right?
Yeah.
Because it could, in that world, with those people and those personalities and neuroses. Anything was possible, and anything happened, and it never got so ridiculous, right?
Because
definition,
the circumstances were never. They were always rooted in basic daily things that happened to all of us.
Right.
Just
taken
Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David's ability to look at something so simple that we take for granted every day and dissect the shit out of it and turn it into an entire premise for an episode.
Right. What could go wrong with this? Right.
And
then you add in good writing and good jokes, and it was it was like the perfect combination.
And there was always something that came back from the beginning at the end in the best episodes that just always tied it together.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you've seen Curb Your Enthusiasm, again, it does it in an even more brilliant way.
Gotcha. And then a lot of, like a lot of shows at the time, and a lot of shows pretty much at any time, but a lot of guest appearances by non-famous actors and actresses at the time. A lot of them went on to become bigger things. Yeah, exactly. But in any event, it's just an amazing show. Watch it. If you haven't, I don't know why you haven't, but watch it if you haven't.
I mean, Julia Louis-Dreyfus was the best of the bunch as far as the comedic actors. And if you watch season 1, she's saving it from getting canceled. Literally.
Great show. All right.
Yeah. There's some hilariously bad acting on the part of the namesake in that show early on, but But that's okay.
He's
We can forgive Jerry for that.
We can.
He's laughing on his pillow of gold.
Gold.
Mm. And I'll be
a case of woven gold stuffed with gold coins.
It's gold, Jerry. Yeah, and I mean what he's done lately. I mean, his Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee is hysterical. I love.
Yeah, that's
I watch it
favorite.
so much. And the one you, Harry, you sent me the clip of a couple weeks ago with the one where he's with Eddie Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
In talking about where they got their one of the
Jade Fountain.
Jade Fountain. Big show for exposure.
Yeah. Although I have to say, I found that to be overall one of the least funny episodes.
I agree with you.
Really great laugh, a couple of really great laughs, but overall, not as.
I agree 100% with you.
The lesser names are always funnier on
Absolutely.
those shows because, they're tighter with Jerry. They have a better rapport.
Yeah. There was a lot of, I want this to be funnier. I'm going to stay. It was the longest one of his episodes too. It was so long.
Yeah, Super Dave his 2 episodes were great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because
because he's Super Dave.
Because he's funny.
Right.
Yeah, he's funny. And you know who else is? And they're very, very good friends. Is Matthew Broderick.
Yeah,
Broderick.
His wife is good on it too.
Yeah, it's
just
great.
I forget one of the early episodes. I can't remember his name. He's a comedian and a comedy writer who's been on with him a few times, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. But he was hilarious. They go to Big Lots together, and it's just and the Howard Stern episode was good. And the other person who's really hilarious with him is Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin, yeah. I was just gonna say,
yeah, that was a good one. And I love the one that he did when he went and he ate food on TV trays, watching movies with Carl Reiner and
That was great. Ricky Gervais is always good with him too because he's petrified of driving with him.
Yeah, it was good.
That's right.
So anyway, all right. So number one show, even though we talked about several others,
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee.
Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee. Now is number one is Seinfeld. All right. That brings us to this week's Old Balls. Harry, tell us who this week's Old Balls is, please.
I thought long and hard about this. This week's Old Balls is none other than Mr. Jerry Stiller. Yes, Mr. Jerry Stiller from the comedy duo of Stiller and Mera with his wife, Ann Mera. But beyond being an incredible comedian, I think that he portrayed to me, since Seinfeld was their number one show of the 90s, I think his character was the number one character of the 90s, where he played Frank Costanza, George Costanza's father. And he went on then to play a similar role as Arthur Spooner in The King of Queens. But Frank Costanza is a high point in characters within the world of any sitcom.
Yeah, agreed.
And, whether it's him and Kramer trying to develop the man's ear / bro, the Serenity Now episode. But let's face it, other than the library, to me, the best episode in the history of Seinfeld is indeed Festivus. Now it's the strike. The other thing that's going on in this episode is that Kramer finally, after I think 15 years, the strike is over and goes back to the bagel store. Kramer at the bagel store learns of Festivus from Frank Costanza, and the show culminates at the Costanza's house with the celebration of Festivus, with the two faces, the people who look good in some lighting and bad in others, showing up at the house as well. And of course, the airing of the grievances. And you don't see it, but the show ends with Mrs. Costanza screaming at George Costanza to wrestle his father.
Mm-hmm.
So,
hence the feats of strength.
Feats of strength. I find tinsel very distracting. Jerry Stiller, he left us a couple years ago. I want Frank Costanza to be in every episode. He was that good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And by the way, he gave the world Ben Stiller. I'm not going to hold that against him.
This is true. So, all right. Well, there you go. That's Jerry Stiller, this week's Old Balls. Old ball. Just one. Old balls. There's the other one. Anyway.
One ball for each.
Well, I mean, it's Festivus poll only has, it doesn't have any balls. So, there it is right there. He's holding it. He's holding it, and The Rock for feats of strength in that picture too. So, anyway, all right. There you go. That's this week's Old Balls. All right, we have a quick non-sports, just a quickie.
Oh boy.
All right. And I got something to say for the one we did 2 weeks ago. But first, this week, please tell us your all-time favorite Christmas movie. So this would be my all-time favorite Christmas movie is not mine, yours. Your all-time favorite Christmas movie is, Harry?
It's got to be Christmas Vacation.
All right. Good movie. Bit nipply out.
Bad Santa's up there too.
Radio Pete, what is your all-time favorite Christmas movie?
It's March of the Wooden Soldiers. I love it.
MAR. No.
Hey. That's a tough question because I get sick of everything eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. Well, and there's some debate about this. I guess I would say Die Hard.
There you go. I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas.
It takes place around Christmas.
It takes place on Christmas Eve. It's a Christmas movie.
Right.
I'll make the case for it.
Bruce Willis doesn't think it is, but it's a Christmas movie.
Just having a movie be at Christmas doesn't make it a Christmas movie. But there's a Christmas party going on at the office. That's why they're all there. And he's traveling home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than just the time of year in the movie. It's integral to the plot of the movie.
Gotcha. I will throw out a strange one that's not probably on anybody's top 20 list, but is worth a watch. I think it's called The Office Party.
Okay.
I believe Jennifer
is
in that as well.
All right.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's chaos.
Yes. I do like I will say, and this kind of fits into your thing before it happens around Christmas, but there's a lot of Christmas in it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's still a Christmas movie, and that's Trading Places, actually.
There you go.
Yeah, I do like Trading Places, but my all-time favorite Christmas movie, it just is. It's A Christmas Story. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I got.
If you're flipping through, you're just watching it.
I gotta see.
You're just watching.
Fragile several times.
You can have your Yukon Cornelius. Your Bruce Willis. I'm taking Yukon Cornelius.
Cornelius, right there you go. Right. But Trading Places is up there. For me, those four are my top four. If I rounded it out with one other one, it would. I don't know. I mean, if I rounded out top five, it would be Christmas Story, Christmas Vacation, Die Hard, Trading Places. I don't know. It'd be hard to round out. Honestly, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Maybe one of the cartoons, one of the claymation things. Maybe like Rudolph or one of those, kind of, romantically reminiscing of childhood kind of thing. But anyway,
there you go.
All right,
there's our top 12 Christmas.
Those are our top 12 Christmas movies for one each. All right. Last week, 2 weeks ago, I asked you what your favorite Christmas carol was, and Harry's was "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer." Pete's was "The Little Drummer Boy." Mine was "Dominic the Donkey." So I'm working on a song. It's not going to be ready now, but I'm going to work on it, and it's titled "The Little Drummer Boy's Grandma Got Run Over by Dominic the Donkey."
I was gonna say Dominic the Donkey ran over somebody's grandma. Or something.
I don't know Dominic the Donkey, but does Dominic the Donkey have like gold chains and a wife beater on?
Well, I got to write the song first, then we'll work on the movie.
In the updated version, I think he does.
Dominic the Donkey was tired of all this bullshit.
There we go. All right. Okay, is that an over/under slip I see hanging there in the corner?
That is the over/under.
All right, let's hear it. Let's do it.
So, it is Christmas time, so we're going to do a Christmas themed over/under.
Beautiful.
I'm going to show you a little bit here of the old present tag.
Oh, present tags. Yes.
Right, it's a little sticker thing, and it has 2, and you write 2 and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a sheet of them here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One sheet.
One sheet.
One sheet cost.
Hold it up again.
Well, I think there was more than one in the package originally, because it says $149. It was 34 each, 34 cents each. So I guess there was 4 in a package, but there's only one in there now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, I don't know. You want me to give you the measurements?
Mm-hmm. No, I could tell.
I got a tape measure.
That's fine.
No, it'll take more time this way. So the actual sheet is
9 inches.
8.5 by
6.
6.
There you go.
So the over/under is how many stickers are on here. Now, some of them are,
Sure,
horizontal,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them are not quite square, but slightly rectangular.
it's a variety pack, if you will.
A variety pack.
Right.
What's the magic number?
So the over/under is 18.5.
Nice.
I'm gonna go over.
Harry's gonna go.
Harry always got to go first, by the way.
All right, John, you get to go first.
I don't think it matters who goes first because we
care.
can each have the same answer.
This is true. We could, but we usually don't.
John insists on needing to win, and therefore you're in the same situation.
Well, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what I did. You said 8.5 by 6. 8.5 by 6. Tags. Went up and down. I'm like, okay, there's 6 across, big boom, boom. So it would be right around that. So you know what? I'm going to go under.
Did you carry the one?
I did carry the one. Just for the hell of it, I'll go under.
All
right. So I will now show you the sheet. And you can see there are actually 10 of the vertical and 10 of the slightly rectangular for a grand total
20
altogether.
That was my guess.
20.
That was my exact guess.
There you go.
There you go. So
I
next
think that's
week,
the first time I got
first.
an over/under right in a long time.
There you go.
Good one, Pete. I like that.
I like
Yeah.
that.
How many of those are you going to use though before the Christmas is over?
I don't know. I got a bunch of little. Oh, look at this. This is my little. See this?
Ooh.
So this is like a little egg yolk thing. This is one of those little things I saw.
You got yourself a present before Christmas.
Well, no, I got a bunch of them. I have 10 of these.
Of course.
But I wanted to make.
They fill up quickly.
They do.
Here's what I got to show you. This is actually a stress ball.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So there's stuff inside here.
I'm sure.
I got to show you this.
There is now.
Now.
No. So I wanted to make sure. So it's an egg yolk. So when you squeeze it.
Oh God!
This you can't really see.
Here, just pick it up, and
We can see it.
the yolk comes out.
Comes out, right? I got you.
There you go. There's a good shot of it.
There you go. Did you put it
You
back
have this
in?
pile of, and then
You have to put it back in through its
get
ass.
it back in. You squeeze it,
and it
Right.
sucks it back up.
It sucks it back up.
it kind of sucks it back up. You have to squeeze it a couple times.
Wow.
And then you can
Force it back in.
pretty much
That's
get
disgusting.
it to go in there.
Oh,
And then you squeeze it again.
There, no.
God.
No. This is not OnlyFans.
You got to squeeze it again.
And then you squeeze it.
Uh,
I can't tip it because it's gonna fall off.
Let me see.
It sucks it up.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty funny, actually. So I got like 10 of them. I'm gonna give them out to a bunch of people.
So you're gonna have
I'll have to check some of them out.
Just don't get them confused with your breakfast morning
Yeah.
eggs.
Well, it's a nice bright yellow. You could easily confuse it with egg yolk. It does actually look quite a bit like egg yolk.
There you go.
Well, guys, have a good holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Well, there you go. I actually got to see one of those. That'd be interesting. So, silence. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah,
No. How many you bought?
I got 10.
You bought 10 of them.
You want one? I'll
John
send you one.
wants one.
I just want to
You
see
want
one. I
one?
don't want one.
I'll send you one.
You send me one. I got some stuff for you guys too. You're not going to get it before the weekend, but you'll get it. You might get it before. You're not going to get it before the weekend. It's not going to happen. You might get it before next week's show. If not, you'll get it before the week after. So, but either way, but you'll enjoy some stuff. I know. I know something else that Harry's looking for.
What I'm looking for?
Yeah.
I'm looking to get the hell out of here.
There you go. But anyway, all right. So this was a wonderful Christmas show, if you will, the Christmas episode of the fun show. Why not? Nice color on the keyboard there, Pete.
Yeah, that's like a new board game.
A new board game. The colors of the keyboard behind it. I just hear it coming out.
You need a little miniature frying pan.
There you go, right? That'd be great. All right. Down the rabbit hole this show went. All right.
I'll do this while you read the credit.
Folks, let me just let you in on something. The next show is just going to be the Sauce Gardner song being played to this Pete doing this.
Doing this for about an hour, and that's it. That's the whole show. So. Anyway, all right.
And it'll be fantastic.
All right. You keep doing that, Pete, and I'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of the shows are available on YouTube as well on the Logger Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, on both Facebook and YouTube, every Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast,
if you listen to the audio podcast, you're missing the show.
Exactly. You want to tune into what Pete's doing right now. Or maybe you don't. Anyway, if you want to just tune into the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful Festivus. Have a wonderful Christmas Eve. Have a wonderful Christmas Day. Have a wonderful Hanukkah and any other holiday that you're celebrating.
Joyous Kwanzaa.
Joyous Kwanzaa. Everything, folks. Enjoy it.
For all you atheists out there, have a great Wednesday.
There you go. And we will talk to you next week for our last show of 2022 before we hit next year. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in and happy holidays. We'll see you soon. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.